Good morning, everyone. Well, yesterday's pre-market was buy the dip, and today, to some degree, maybe sell the rally. Um, you know, the rally yesterday was impressive, and we got this wide range bar in the futures, and other markets moved up nicely. Can they make new all-time highs? Not all of them, but the S&P is within striking distance. I think in the next several weeks, possibly without any new tariff news, which whatever, July 9th. Uh, who knows? There'll be another standoff or delay. Who knows? Anyway, technically, yesterday we had this bottoming action and this void above. And the idea was okay, if it pulls back, it should reverse based on that pattern and an upside potential to close this void. So that's what happened. Now it's at the top of the range. The void is closed. Earnings tonight, NVIDIA, you know, big deal. And I think there'd probably be some apprehension ahead of that to see what that stock is going to do and its influences on technology industry, of course, semiconductors and AI and wide reaching, of course. So prices are at prior highs here, backing off a little bit, no big deal. Yesterday's wide range bar often results in a narrow range day, and that would make sense based on NVIDIA earnings coming out. CRM is after the close. Uh, I think the FOMC minutes, which really shouldn't be such a big deal. I mean, sometimes something is said. What's going on today? 2 o'clock FOMC minutes. And there's a 5-year note auction, 2 year, some short term. Sometimes these bond auctions jiggle things around, sometimes more than a jiggle. But, you know, we'll see. So let's take a look around at other markets, which things are kind of not going anywhere this morning here. And you see the kind of price action that's happening right now. Um, strong move up, little retest reversal, and, you know, I wouldn't really call it a breakout, but a new high in this move, and it's immediately sold. So as it gets closer to what's over here, looking to the left, obvious place where there's going to be sellers. Um, However, the price action is supportive of being able to push up to this area. Now, again, NVIDIA earnings, CRM, whatever, so on and so forth, news-driven market. But technically, this pattern is supportive of being able to go higher. We get some kind of consolidation up here, which would be ideal. Okay? Supply demand. Look to the left. Resistance, supply. What kind of price action occurs? If it's sideways up here, and again, we apply our different concepts. We got a wide range bar up from this particular instrument. Does it stay in the upper third, ideally? Not only upper half, we can get bottoming tail bars if it dips down into there, but it recovers back up. So today we're going to be talking about correction bars in MT Live. So very timely concept to be talking about those. And, join us at 12 o'clock, of course. But what it does here is going to be telling. And so every day we start out with what is and what should occur based on those technicals. And then at the end of the day, we see what actually transpired. Mhm. Clearly, obviously, if we get a big, nasty down bar today, something's wrong. That's black and white. But for the moment, staying in this range up in here, somewhere in here, would be ideal to support a bias that it could go higher. And yesterday we talked about these weekly charts, in the prior week, of course, where it come up toward this minor resistance. There was a down bar last week. For the moment, it's negating the down bar, which would suggest, I mean, you think about this, right? I don't want to think too far, but when you look at patterns, it creates thoughts based on historical um, norms, right? Recurring price patterns. Now, this isn't a correction bar pattern, right? It's more of a, just a consolidation, type of a continuation pattern if it was to close like this. But strong moves up, a red bar, if it's negated at the end of the week, would support the potential for a measured move. That's, I think, a little bit too much, but who the hell knows? But at least a move up to the prior highs certainly makes sense if we can get a strong close. Yet to be seen. Just take a look at internals, since we did get the risk off over here. And is this the extent of the correction? I certainly believe it would have come down here if Trump didn't back off on the tariff, comments from last week. And then the bond market, I used the analogy yesterday, stepped on his neck, and he backed off on that opinion, as we all know, and caused the gap up and rally day yesterday. So internals are neutral at this point. Don't give us any advantage whatsoever. So just thought I'd mention where they're at. All right, other markets. The Russell started out yesterday, moving lower, and then buyers came for it aggressively, even more so than the others. It did stop at resistance here, but good to see, from the bullish point of view, good to see that buyers did step up and buy small caps. In the same scenario here, they're up at some resistance. Likely we're going to get some chop around kind of situation waiting probably for the end of the day, and whatever effect FOMC minutes might have. All right. Now the Dow, interesting pattern here when I look at this. And what I look at this and say, okay, here's this dip down into the gap. Buyers step up rather than a more subdued type of a turn. We get the news wide range bar up. And so you see what I see? Now, this needs to result in a continuation move up, because this is an incomplete pattern, but it's the beginnings of a head and shoulders top. So in a certain sense, flies in the ointment of the other bullish scenarios, but this has been a laggard. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this and see what it does. But same, does it stay in the upper third, upper half? Today sideways. But if any of them are going to, be able to move up a bit, it would be this one today. Meaning, while it's got that high that from yesterday, it has more potential to move higher and potentially negate this pattern that could be in development mode. But so far, pre-market, the same kind of price action. Interest rates on support, deep retracement. Trump backed off. They came down hard. And so everything's going to kind of a wait and see. What's the next news event? We've already mentioned. But they're on support, little buying here, nothing of significance. See a little push up here, pre-market. Bitcoin down a little bit, no big deal. Holding on to the gains, choppy price action, nothing to do there. You can see here, these currencies are down, which means the dollar is up a little bit. Nothing of great significance. Crude oil, maybe, nothing to do with this, but maybe, not a really clean head and shoulders kind of a bottom. The head isn't dipped down below that left side there, but on a closing basis, if I was to put this on a closing basis, you would see more of a defined head and shoulders type of a bottoming action, since the close is down here well under, these closes. So maybe this begins to go up. So maybe we want to take a look at, some oil related stocks. Maybe something showing some relative strength on the turnaround there. Gold sloppy, again, the news kind of played havoc with this. I was thinking over the weekend that this could go up and test the highs, and then we know what happened. It's just trading range that's going on. So really, not much to do there other than observe and see which way things develop. Silver, on the other hand, looks more promising. Can it go without gold? I suppose, but looking at this price pattern, which is obviously pretty sloppy, it's consolidating at resistance. Kind of, I guess, sloppy overlapping bars, some buying on the dip, set an alert above these highs. Now, does it have big upside potential? Not really. I mean, but as far as a short-term basis, it looks like it could go up here, and then we would just see the reaction to it. Resistance doesn't mean it can't get through it. It just means the next obvious stopping point. But for the moment, still just pretty sloppy. There is an OPEC meeting for higher oil production. Well, I think, I think, and maybe you watched that talk Trump did in Saudi Arabia. I think they joined at the hip. I don't think they're going to do much of anything that Trump doesn't want done. That's my thought. I mean, you know, you saw the what seemed like pretty close relationship there. All right. Let's take a look at SMH, and I'm going to look at the transports here for a second. So this is constructive so far. It's just kind of sloppy. It's up this morning, up into resistance like many other things, which is telling us things aren't likely to go too far this morning. That's my bias anyway. Strong move up yesterday. Things are up a little bit this morning. Interest rates are up a little bit. And I think it's going to be some backing and filling, waiting for news. All right. SPX. Routine. Things are relatively unchanged, give or take a little bit. You see the pre-market, it was a little dip and it came back up again, the same kind of price action that we saw in the futures. You look over to the left, there's plenty of congestion there and not much happening. So we got another gap, right? This is a very gappy market since the news, but yesterday's gap up left another little unfilled gap down below, wide range bar, as we already looked at, creating a bit of a void. Things are just chopping around here, right? And we'll wait to see what happens. Those are the numbers that I was pre-market for extremes. So down below yesterday's low, right? In no way should prices go anywhere near yesterday's low. If it does, something's wrong. And getting up toward that high, I just don't see that happening either. Right? Unless there's some surprise news coming. Again, things should stay relatively quiet, jiggling around over here. So keeping expectations in alignment with that, I would not be looking for any large moves one way or another. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, MT Live today, great subject as always. But like yesterday, we added a lot of exposure, and a lot of them were these continuation patterns. So yeah, it'll be great like always. And talking about that, look at right here, Tesla. I mentioned that the strength in the morning, and I was Monday mornings are my busiest with all the new trades and so forth, but this is a bull rectangle. So a bull rectangle by definition is a continuation pattern. So we'll be talking about correction bars, correction patterns, correction, so this was, and when it had that breakout failure and then came back and held, I said over and over in the green room, is this going to break down for a call spread, or is this going to be a bull rectangle breakout? And yesterday was the decision, bullish gap, 130-minute high was a 123. Those are my favorite intraday entries. When you go to bullish pattern, just wait 30 minutes and then you got a 123 like that. So I'm kicking myself we didn't give that long yesterday. The Dow 30, I was just glancing to see what's moving, and it is incredibly slow. Like the only two up $1. Apple, but no pattern. But look at, that's a nice 15-minute chart. And Microsoft, that's it, $1. Everything else is within a dollar up and down. So that by definition is incredibly slow. Well, I see McDonald's and UCH down on, actually McDonald's. Now see that's a tradable trading range. Up here resistance, here support. It shows it gapping down. I'm gonna set an alarm at 3:15:40. See if we can negate this. UNH, big expensive stocks, so being down $1 is totally nothing. But this could be a day trade short. I mean, yesterday's low. Alarms here. SEG. We did a put spread yesterday. I don't see any prints though. Bull. I've been watching this thing for over a month. Wanting to see if it wants to make a turn here. So my up alarm went off. I just reset it higher. But buy alarm. We were in this on the first topping tail day, went against us a little bit, and finally got the umph. Look at the power yesterday morning. We had long calls. We sold half into this morning rally, and it looks great. Bottoming patterns, you get a bunch of sometimes false starts, and yesterday was decisive as can be. So my target would be around 550. It's up here. That looks great. EXEL alarm, buy setup. The only thing that would make this better is if, Monday was a holiday. If Friday was a bottoming tail, then it would be a no-brainer. Because even if this takes out yesterday's high, I'm not convinced Friday's low will hold. But that's on my watch. And that's it. Alarms. Let's look at earnings, and then we can look at open trades and trades of interest. DKS 185. That's just a junk pattern. Now that is one nasty Bear Island reversal. Island reversal is when there's gaps to the left and the right, leaving a one or multiple bar island. And Alex asked me about something yesterday, and I said, yeah, it is, but they're better when you can drive a truck through it. It's like it's there's no way around it. That's a nasty island. So I got no interest in that. But I looked at BBY. They were talking about it on CNBC. That was a nice reversal after a breakout. Nice 15-minute. Problem is earnings are tomorrow morning. But day trade, look at that 15-minute chart. So that 5, 10, 30-minute high, whatever the case. I say whatever the case for two reasons. One, you got to see what the stock is doing on an intraday on a 5-minute chart. And number two, I trade with the broader markets. So the broader markets are selling off into the gap, then I just wait. Yeah, box right here. That's a big old gap though. It's excessive for me, Alex. What do you want to do with that? That's gapping to like the best target. Oh, okay. So you didn't say that. See, because I know sometimes you love buying big gaps. So yeah, see, unless you clarified that, I really didn't know. But yeah, we can watch the call spread also. Okta getting whacked here. I got it in the bottom right. Now, ideally, it keeps selling off to at least fill this gap. And then we'll look for a intraday entry for a put spread. SMTC, nothing. GGL, nothing. SQM. Greg, I'm in the chat. I didn't see that from you or somebody else because
For me, I'm letting you know.
yeah, no, yeah, it's right here in earnings. All right, SQM, nothing. HEI is a buy setup, but it came down hard and you're gonna hit these overlapping bars. So put spread at best for me. Kilo Charlie. Aha, this was the one I said if it opened flat, short the low. But now it's gapping down too much. See, broke out, but this is a great example of the moving averages also helping you visualize that it's rolling over with a void. So that would have been a beautiful, short, but we'll have to watch the bounce or lack thereof. ANF here. This one I came close to shorting puts. I think Sam gave me an idea of the 60s and the 95s. And Sam, you were not here, but you can ask people in the green room. I said because it's a bottoming pattern, daily, weekly, and down a lot, I would only do the put side myself. And I think it was only like 35 cents, so I passed on it. But yeah, to me, this is not a good pattern to do a straddle on or condor. But what am I going to do with this now? I mean, that is a powerful pre-market here. Remember, this was the one that just went into the stratosphere. Like, what the hell are they putting in their clothes? But I don't have a bias. Let's come back to it. Macy's, I considered a put spread on this for the same reason. It looked like it was bottoming. I like the converging MAs. I was considering the 1050s, I remember. And I think it just didn't have enough. My TRN gapping under this bullish base, which will be resistance, but maybe we get a 1, 2, 3. And then as a void to 42. Monroe, another bottoming pattern, 1550. So it's a big gap, but a buy on a pullback. And this was actually one I remember saying yesterday, if it opened flat, short under this entire base, because that's a nasty downtrend. But now that's a pro gap. That's a pro gap. It's igniting a new move from a downtrend. So I'll put it in that little window. And that's it on earnings. Let's see what else I have up here. Curve. This thing has just been absolute beast. Today, correction bars, this would have been your perfect entry. This red bar ignored breakout, that's your correction. I mean, we could look at, any chart you want in today's subject. I can point to them, but that was a beauty right there because it already had moved a lot at resistance, and that was it. Serve. This was one in the weekend letter. We should have entered that on a pullback. I gotta go check. CLMT continuation breakout looks good. Workday had a nasty gap on the earnings, and I said it looked lower, particularly with that topping tail. I'd love for this sell off another $20, get down here, but there's no pattern now. DRI igniting from a big trading range, bullish 15, bullish weekly, monthly. Ideally, we get a 1, 2, 3. Excel, I just posted. Well, I didn't post, but I showed you that I like this. As a buy setup, maybe 30-minute high. Groupon, that's a bull rectangle breakout yesterday. Let's see if we get a 1, 2, 3. Now, PayX was a little bull flag here after breakout. 30-minute high would have been a good entry yesterday. JetQ. Oh, Alex got my dad into this yesterday. So up 14 cents, we'll take it. Tesla, we talked about. I would love a 1, 2, 3 on this. GDS gapping down. This is a call spread and maybe 30-minute low short. Sell setup on the weekly. That looks good. BBY we talked about, but it has earnings, but day trade, crowd. We met our target on the put spread, and we're in this long. Yeah, I'm out of time here, but yeah, I was going to go over all our opens. We have a ton of them. Last week was incredibly slow, and yesterday we added about a dozen new longs. Gitless here. Why am I looking at you? We can find better. Dash, pizza delivery company. It's not a 1, 2, 3 because yesterday was higher, but I like it above the 20, 50, gap negated, bullish weekly. So I got an alarm up here at 206.50. Joby, little helicopter guy. These are I call them helicopters, but they're helicopter, cars. Mountain had some news, wasn't earnings, but I think there's, I don't know, CPO or whatever, but no pattern. Merck, this is a pattern. I think you could trade up or down. It's just going sideways here at the declining 20. I have an alarm. Reeker, my BAT21 buddy gave me this. This would be a great 1, 2, 3. It's a penny stock over the counter, as you can see by the 4 decimal spots. But nice pattern. Set an alarm 123. And I can set a couple of alarms go off all at once. Let's see what those look like. Sag alarm, up alarm, so it's good. We got a put spread. I'll just reset it higher. About 314 now. Low alarm 306. Ah, shoot, our bye-bye is selling off here. It was up huge pre-market. But, well, I say huge, that's relative. Because it's 15 minutes, it's huge, but daily it's just a blip. We'll just let it settle down. I gotta stop in already. FCX. FCX, little, that's a low alarm, but an early one. We have a put spread on this. Whoa, bye-bye. What is going on with you? Delta 20, Honeywell, 1 second. FCX, our stock is 38.75, so it's an early alarm. Diamond's the best right now in the 5-minute. Honeywell long. It's a bullish pattern. You know, it's a self-correcting uptrend. Yesterday was a nice gap, range expansion. So yeah, you could, buy, just figure out your entry. You want to give it 10 minutes. You want to buy it right now, scale into it. But yeah, it looks good. SIPA. This was a continuation pattern. I grabbed a chart of this for MT Live today. Beautiful 15-minute chart. Even for a day trade. BRSK alarm. Let's change this to a 5-minute high, 317.40. Monster, we're in. I didn't have an alarm, but let's look at it. Monster. So what's your question, Thomas? We're in it in management mode. Looks good. Let's see, where did we enter? Monster Mash. Cost basis 64.11. Ah, because we did 30-minute high, that's why. All right, I was gonna say, should have bought a 5-minute high. I guess because I didn't see it in time. Twilio, it's continuation pattern. I would want, this is one, Sam, I would want the broader market to have some oomph. Hello. Making the turn, not sure about the target, Thomas. But it's making the turn. If there's any $7.5 puts too. A bull. That could be the home run entry, Bolly. Yes, my data's a little scrunched here, but yeah, I like it. I like it. This, um, I like it. Let's do a half lot now. I know in the weekend letter I gave long calls. Let me check those. Yes, I'll give it over the high, over 1419 by half. Let me check the call that I had posted. Excel is holding well. That CRWV has 15-minute reversal, but I know the daily is still strong. All right, bull. Bull triggered. It was over 1372. Okay, so my alarm went off and I did not reset it. All right, so anyway, I changed it, so it's moved. But let me see what calls I had posted here. I had the May 30, 12 and a half. So now we need to go out further. So 12. Let's change this. There. 13 calls right now. 50. 50. So that would be 11, 70, 13. No, okay. This is 1185. Give it a little under that. 1185. How about 48? All right, here you go. Here's my adjustment. Let's look at the CRWV. Look, 50% retracement. The only problem is it's 9:40 a.m., which it closes with a bottoming tail. But I've been watching this thing for a month to do a call spread. How far out can we go? For Friday, you can get $1 for the 145. So that's $30 higher. But yeah, watch and bounce on Netflix and Amazon ripping here. Look at Amazon all-time highs. Now that's a continuation pattern too. Went sideways for a week. That, yeah, looks great. Great, Thomas. I like him. Amazon 15-minute is looks like it might be headed for the gap fill. That's a nice 15. See if there's any premium at 200 for Friday. 31 cents is all. Tesla coming in, which might give us a 1, 2, 3. Guggenheimer, too sloppy. Apple, too sloppy. Microsoft, I know it's up too much for me. Yeah, Netflix looks the best of all those to me. Yep, I like it. Oh, let me check put spread on him. Dash alarm. BRSK up alarm. McDonald's up alarm. Netflix. Wow. When are they going to do a split? Really 1180s. $5 wide, 50 cents. Let's do it. Look at that. Already 214,000 on a $1,200 stock. That is a lot of notional value. BRSK triggered. Continuation pattern. No. Donald's, let's see how it closes. FCX alarm, nothing. Wolf alarm. All right, stop was 338, so it's an early alarm, but this one's on probation. We bought calls yesterday. It's not doing anything. Failed buy setup. So just let it play out. But buy low alarm should. It was looking so good. That's profit.